Okay, good afternoon. This is the Daf Yomi for Shabbos Kodesh, for Shabbos Parshas Tazria 5784. We're recording it on Friday afternoon. The Daf Yomi is dedicated for Shemira for the Chayalim, Hatzah for the Shvuyim, and Yeshua for Am Yisrael in this difficult time. So the Gemara tells us, we were discussing in yesterday's Daf, a Machlokas between Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish, relating back to a Mishnah in Ma'aser Sheni, whether or not you could be mechal, you could deconsecrate the Ma'aser Sheni coin onto from silver onto gold. So that's the question. So the Gemara says that there's machlokas, but we don't know who says which position. Meaning to say, the machlokas is whether or not we can take the Ma'aser Sheni and if it's produce and put it straight onto a gold coin. So Gemara says to Stein, the Rabbi Yochanan who do Amar Emechal. It must be the Rabbi Yochanan's other position who says that according to Beis Shammai, you can't even deconsecrate fruit onto a gold coin. Because how do we know this? Because Rabbi Yochanan is going to be in the position that gold is considered the fruit, the peri, the fruit, and not the coin, and so therefore you can't deconsecrate the Ma'aser Sheni produce onto other fruit. And how do we know that Rabbi Yochanan considers the gold to be the peiros and not the tiva, the fruit and not the coin? So Amar Rabbi Yochanan, that Rabbi Yochanan's other position. Rabbi Yochanan is going to the other position on top of Mamhei Amadav. Also, will post dinar b'dinar. Now, that Rabbi Yochanan's other position that you're not allowed to borrow money, a coin, and pay back with a coin. Now the Gemara asks the case. What are we talking about? Dinar demai. What type of coin? Ilim a dinar shel kesef, a dinar shel kesef. If you want to say that that you can't borrow a silver coin and pay back with a silver coin, who says that there's nobody who says that you can't borrow a silver coin and pay it back with a silver coin. There's no problem there. Everybody says that the silver coin is considered a coin. It's not considered a fruit. And so therefore, of course, you can pay back with the silver coin if you borrow with a silver coin. Al Pshita must be that this statement of Rabbi Yochanan is referring to a dinar shel zav, b'dinar shel zav. And it must be that it's a gold coin. You can't borrow a gold coin and return with a gold coin. Why? Because we're concerned that the gold coin will go up in value and it'll be like you're paying back fruit with the fruit. And that's the rabbinic prohibition of seah b'seah, which is perhaps interest, because maybe the price will go up. And so therefore you see that Rabbi Yochanan is saying that this position, that you can't borrow a gold coin and return with a gold coin. Oman, according to whom? According to Beis Hillel, Beis Hillel had said explicitly that the gold coin is going to be considered a gold coin, is considered a tiva, because he says on Daf Mem Daled Amud Beis that you could deconsecrate the silver onto gold. It proves it's a coin. So it must be El Aval Beis Shammai. It must be according to the position of Beis Shammai. And what must it be? It must be according to the position of Beis Shammai, who says that generally speaking, that the gold is going to be considered like the peiros. And so therefore, we see from here that this goes according to the position of Beis Shammai. So the Gemara says, no. Rabbi Yochanan. We see from here that Rabbi Yochanan is the one who says that generally speaking, you can't take Ma'aser Sheni produce and deconsecrate it onto a gold coin. The Gemara says, no, that's not going to be the case. This case is different. Rabbi Yochanan would say, generally speaking, you can deconsecrate Ma'aser Sheni onto a coin. But the case of a loan is different. Because the rabbis say, with respect to doing business, the rabbis are going to say, we're going to view the gold coin as a peiros. Even though with respect to deconsecrating it, we're going to view it as a coin. With respect to business, we're going to view it as a peiros. Because we're going to say that gold is going to go up and down vis-a-vis silver. So therefore, so therefore, with respect to a loan, we're going to view it as peiros. But that doesn't mean that doesn't mean that you can't deconsecrate Meiser Sheni onto it. And Hachinami Mistaber, indeed it's logical. Kiasa Rabin, when Rabin came from Eretz Yisrael to Bava, Amar Rabbi Yochanan Afal Pisha Amru also Rovos Dinar Bedinar, that even though Rabbi Yochanan is in the position you can't borrow a gold coin and pay back with a gold coin, Meiser Sheni, but you can deconsecrate the Meiser Sheni. So there's a distinction between whether or not you can view gold as a coin vis-a-vis Meiser Sheni, which Rabbi Yochanan says you can, according to this, but and vis-a-vis taking a loan where he says we're going to view it as payros and therefore you can't do it. So the Gemara says let's challenge the position that says that Beis Shammai says you can't be mechalal, you can't deconsecrate the Meiser Sheni onto a gold coin. Tashma haporet sela mimos Meiser Sheni. So somebody, we learned in the Mishnah in Meiser Sheni that somebody wants to take the Poret Sela Mimos Meiser Sheni. Somebody wants to take the Meiser Sheni coins and make it into a Sela. Poret Sela Mimos Meiser Sheni. So Rashi says, Misha Yeshel Maos Nechosha, somebody who has copper money of Meiser Sheni, Boa Portam Basela Kesef, Walosi Yerushalayim, they must have derech. He wants to take the copper coins and turn them into silver coins because it's easier for him to schlep it up to Yerushalayim that way. Beis Shammai Omer Bekoa Sela Mos. Beis Shammai says that if he wants to do this, he can basically can do all of his copper coins into silver. If he wants to, he can. That's what Beis Shammai is saying. Beis Hillel b'shekel kesef b'shekel mos. Beis Hillel says he takes a shekel worth of copper and he turns it into silver, and he keeps some as copper. Basically, so that's what Beis Hillel is saying. So what does this mean exactly? What this means is that Beis Hillel say that he shouldn't convert all of his prutos into silver, so he should take some of them, half of them, and then he takes that with the remaining prutos of copper. The reason why they say this is because Rashi says El Chatzin Shaprutos Yotzis Yerushalayim, because he's going to have to spend the money in Jerusalem. When he comes there, he's going to need the copper coins immediately, and so he's going to have to buy food. And if everybody's going to run to the money changer to take their silver coins and turn it back into the copper coins are going to go up in value. And so therefore, Meiser Sheni he's going to be able to get less Meiser Sheni for it. And so therefore, he should take some copper coins. So now the Gemara says, Hashta. Hold on one second. Gemara now says the following question. So the Gemara says, and so if Beis Shammai is going to allow you to deconsecrate the Meiser Sheni onto copper, because how else do you have the copper coins in the first place? Must have taken the Meiser Sheni and deconsecrated onto copper, so for sure you can do it onto gold. So then to prove you can for sure deconsecrate onto gold. So the Gemara says, no, copper you can deconsecrate more than gold. Shani prite ba'asra desagin charife. No, the copper coins are actually better. They're more liquid. So copper could be a coin, even though gold is not. Lishnach, an alternative version of this is Amrullah Rabbi Yochanan Reish Lakish, that Rabbi Yochanan says to Reish Lakish, Chad Amar Machokes B'Siloin Al Dinarim. So Rabbi Yochanan says to Reish Lakish, that, excuse me, Rabbi Yochanan Reish Lakish, Chad Amar Machokes B'Siloin Al Dinarim. One says the Machokes is whether or not you can turn the being mechal of the silver coins onto gold coins. The Beis Shammai Savri, Beis Shammai said the position, HaKesef, Kesef Rishon, Lo Kesef Sheni. Beis Shammai says you could, when it says in the Torah, you can deconsecrate your produce onto coin, your Meiser Sheni produce. That's the first time, but not the second time. Beis Hillel Savri, HaKesef, it says HaKesef, Kesef Riboy, Vafilu Kesef Sheni. You could even do a secondary money, not only the first money. And so therefore, Aval Peros al Dinarin, but if it's fruit that you want to consecrate onto a gold coin, everybody says you could deconsecrate it. Because it's still the first money. al dinar nami machokas. And one of them, Rabbi Yochanan Rish Lakish, of the position that even fruit onto the coins is also machokas. And according to the one who says that deconsecrating a silver coin onto a gold coin is the dispute, if that's the case, why do they have to make the dispute with silver onto gold? They should have the argument whether or not you can deconsecrate one silver coin onto another silver coin. Meaning to say, whether or not you could take one silver coin and put it onto a different type of silver coin. So why do they have to go to a gold coin? Because if you're using the gold coin as your proof, you could make a mistake. Rashi says, oh, what's the reason is that you can't do it is because the gold coin is a fruit. But if it's silon al silon, they're both a coin. Gemara says, no, if that was the argument, Hava Mina, I might have said, Hani Milim Silon al Silon. That's the case only with a coin onto another coin, with one silver coin onto another coin. That's what Beis Hillel and Beis Shammai argue. That Beis Hillel will say you can deconsecrate it from one silver coin onto another. But of the Silon al Dinarim, but if it's a silver coin onto a gold coin, I might have said Modalu Beis Hillel or Beis Shammai that you can't do it. I might have thought the Beis Hillel admits to Beis Shammai that you can't do it in that case. Da'ava Gabi Ketzka Perahavi or Mechalin. I might have thought that the gold is like that the gold is vis-a-vis the silver is like the fruit, and you can't do it. Kamash Malad. So therefore, it's teaching us that they disagree about whether or not you can do the gold onto about the gold onto the silver. And they say, Tashma. So now the Gemara says, let's challenge the first of Amorah. That said, Beis Shammai says you can't do any money onto second money. That somebody wants to change a sell of Meiser Sheni money in Yerushalayim into copper. So Beis Shammai Omer B'Kol Selah Mos. So Beis Shammai says that he could take copper coins for all of the Selaim. Beis Hillel Omer B'Shekel Kesef B'Shekel Mos. Beis Hillel says he takes a shekel of silver and a shekel's worth of copper coins, meaning he can't change everything. So now we say hashta kaspo gabe prita mechalin. So if we see that you can change silver into copper, or kesef rishon ulo kesef sheni, and you don't say that it's the first kesef, but you can't do it a second time. Gabe dahava dachashimine me. I'm reading kesef rishon ulo kesef sheni by gold, which is much more distinguished than a silver coin. Would we say that you can't do first money into second money? So it doesn't disprove, therefore, that we don't make that argument. So Amarava, Yerushalayim Kamotaf, you're challenging me from Jerusalem. Shani Yerushalayim, the case of Jerusalem is different. Because in Jerusalem, we want you to spend the money. And so since in Jerusalem you need to buy things, therefore you have to take your silver and you have to get lower denominations. So don't challenge me from Jerusalem. So now the Gemara continues. Tashma porit selmi mos meiser sheni. Let's say you want to take your copper coin and turn it into meiser sheni money. Take your meiser sheni money and turn it into a copper coin. Excuse me. You want to take your copper meiser sheni and turn it into silver coins. Beis Shammai over b'koa sela mos. Beis Shammai says you trade the copper coin for all the silver you have. Beis Hillel over b'shekel kesef b'shekel mos, meaning he does half of it. So we see from here that Beis Shammai allow you to deconsecrate the money onto other money, even outside Yerushalayim. So the Gemara says, okay, you're right. Everybody says, but Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel says that kesef kefses means afil kesef sheni, even the second money. So if there's a machokas between Rabbi Yochanan and Rish Lakish, another version of it, this is what they say. One says that the machok is whether or not you can convert a seller onto a gold coin. Beis Shammai Savri Gazrina. Beis Shammai say that we can't do it. Shema Yisha Aliyaso. Maybe that's going to delay him going up to Zimnin Dilamos Dinar, because sometimes the silver coins are not going to add up to a gold coin. Vuamasik. and so therefore he's not going to go up to Yerushalayim yet. We don't think it's going to delay it. Because even when it doesn't come up to go to a dinar, a suke maskil, he's going to bring it up to Yerushalayim. But fruits on to gold coins, everybody says you could deconsecrate. Because since they're going to delay, since they're going to rot, we're not going to delay. The other opinion is that Beit Shammai and Yisrael even argue about it that way. So the Gemara says, according to the version which says that biblically speaking, both Beit Shammai and Beit Hillel say you can deconsecrate the slime even onto the gold. The Rabbanon who the Gazber and the Rabbanon don't allow it. That's why the Mishnah says he can do it, and the lo yaseh. That's why it says in one case he can do it and he can't do it. Meaning to say, but according to one who says that the argument, according to the Torah, he should have stated we can be mechalel and not mechalel. So meaning to say that's the question, because it's whether or not it's permitted. So therefore, the Gemara says, "Kasha." It's difficult according to that approach. So the Gemara now says goes back to the dispute which we were seeing above, that when it comes to acquiring metaltalin, movable objects, that by taking the money, that doesn't transfer the object. The only way the object is actually transferred, the sale is final, is when you pull it. So the Gemara now wants to know whether or not taking the money, if it's possible, if it's done through what's called a kinyan chalipin, if we designate the money as an item to be done through exchange. Let's say we designate the money as an item, not as currency, but as an item. Can we then have the acquisition take effect at that point? So the Gemara says, Itmar, we learned, Rav Levi, that one says that a coin can be considered like a chalipin, and then therefore you could designate a coin and thereby acquire the object by just picking up the coin. The other person, you could acquire the coins by just picking up the coin, even though if you designate that way, even though the person hasn't done mashicha, drawn the object that he wants to, the movable that he wants to buy. Amar Papa, my tamad Amar, Amar Emat Benas Chalipin. One says the matbea cannot become chalipin. So it says Papa, my tamad Amar Emat Benas Chalipin. What's the reason why it says a coin cannot? Mishum dedaite atzurte, because v'tzurta avida de batala. The reason is because the person, if he wants to designate it as an object, he looks at the form, and the form is going to be it's going to be nullified eventually, and so therefore, it's like a whole value comes from the image that's drawn there, but it really doesn't have any intrinsic value because that form is going to be disappeared. So therefore, you can't. According to the one that says you can't do it, it's because the tzurta vida de bato, it's going to disappear. Meaning to say, at its source, the money has no real value. So how do we know, according to this idea, that you can't use the money as the payray? Tanan hazav kones kesef, that the gold is acquiring the silver. So the gold is the paris. Ma'alav the chalifin. So the Gemara first asks, isn't the gold working like the chalifin? Shema mina matbia and nasa b'chalifin. We see from here that the coin can become the chalifin. The Gemara says no, but damim. The gold there, the silver. So we're talking about a case there where the silver is the kesef is being offered as the money. Why does, if that's the case, why does it say the gold acquires the kesef? It should have said the gold is obligating the silver, not that he acquires the silver. It says you have to pay me the silver. So the Gemara says Tani hazahav mechayev. So that's the way you read it. This is the logical way to read it. Because it says a kesef eno kones hazahav. The silver does not acquire the gold. Now, if you would say it's referring to money, that's why we say the gold is the fruit and the money is the coin. And the coins does not, when you take the money, you don't purchase the payros. If we say it's bechalipin, they can both acquire each other. And again, the silver does not acquire the gold. Ketzad. How do we do this? Let's say he sold him 25 coins of silver for 1 coin of gold. Even though he took the silver, he has not acquired, the deal is not done until he pulls on the gold. Now, if you want to say that we're talking about money here, that's why he hasn't acquired it. And if you say it's exchange of objects, it's acquired. So if that's the case, if you want to say that it's referring to money, what about the first clause? It says Hazav konas hakesef. The gold buys the silver. How is that the case? He sold him a gold coin for 25 silver coins. Once he pulls on the gold, he's acquired the silver wherever it is. Now, if you say it's chalipin, if it's exchange, that's why it says he acquires the silver wherever it is. But if you want to say that it is through money, why does it say he acquires the silver wherever it is? And it's chayav gavra, by the way. It should just say he owes him the money. It refers to money. What does it mean when it says wherever he is? It's as though he's saying to him, meaning to say that he has to give it to him with what he wants. If he said, I'm going to give you from a new wallet, new money, he can't give him from old money. And even though the old ones are better. Because he says, I need them in order to make them older, meaning to say that he wants to hold them. So he can claim that. Says Papa, according to the one who says that you can't use the coin for chalipin, the coins cannot make the chalipin, but they could be bought through chalipin. So just like the fruit of Rav Nachman, just like the fruits cannot affect chalipin, they could be bought through chalipin. So the Gemara, we're going to deal with this, God willing, on Sunday's daf, but for now we'll stop here and we'll go over this daf on Shabbos. Obviously, we'll make it, God willing, much stronger. Everybody should have a good Shabbos.